On today's podcast, we're going to talk about one of the most important questions you need to ask yourself so that you can create success on your own weight loss and wellness journey. Hi, I'm Brooke Lyons. A few years ago, I lost 50 pounds and finally got my life back. I've uncovered the tools that allowed me to keep the weight off and help hundreds of my clients also lead a healthy and vibrant life. Losing weight is only the beginning, and being happy and healthy is so much more than just a number on the scale. So join me as we discover how to thrive beyond weight loss. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dr. Brooke Lyons.
And I'm Bri.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, so today I want to start out by asking you a question. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to change right now? Think of something in your life, probably, your wellness and your weight. And what number are you at? 1 being, I don't really care. It's not an issue at all. And 10 being, this thing has to change right now. The reason I ask you that is because we have some people who come in and they're just like ready. Mm-hmm. It's always the best, to be honest with you, if you have a problem. Like if you're like, I want to get off all my medications, or I have diabetes all of a sudden, and that gives you 10.
Yes.
I don't want to live this way. My family went down this road. I want to flip the switch off. But we have some people that are probably not at 10 on that.
Yeah, they're not quite there yet.
Yeah. And
but that's okay.
It's okay, but it also makes them more difficult to help.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you find? Like, can you think of people that, if I think about it, I have some people in mind that they were tough to get through the door, like the success door, and needed a lot more help because it's almost like unless we find that focus and we decide I'm a 10, I'm all in, and then you don't do the things. Like I can't tell you how many people ask me questions that I know are in the book.
Right.
They didn't even read the manual.
True. Do you find that maybe sometimes people wait until they get to that extreme?
A lot of times, I think.
I'm not there. I'm not, having all these health problems yet. Mm-hmm. So they just continue to live those habits, and it's like, and then all of a sudden they're there, and then now they're a 10, and it's like,
I know,
and I have to do it now.
That's my greatest fear is that, and I have to drop that because you get to live your life in the way that you want to, but we have somebody who we just adore, and we can't get him to walk through the door because he thinks that he has to be ready, and I keep saying, you don't. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point, is that don't be ready, because then you'll see how easy this is. And you'll be like, why did I wait? Because I waited. I learned about my program. It wasn't quite what I offer. But the skeleton of it was offered to me in October. And I was actually intermittent fasting and not getting anywhere with it, not understanding why. But now I understand why, and I'd love to tell you. But yeah, it's so important that we just say yes. Mm-hmm. But then also have some backup.
Right.
Because I was 50 pounds overweight. That was I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. It's so funny too, because lately a bunch of photos have popped up and I'm like, oh. In fact, even when we started recording this podcast, just like a little more than a year ago, the guys know, like, this is why we're here in the morning, because I would be bloated out by the end of the day, even on program still, because your body just doesn't heal because you want it to. Mm-hmm. It heals because you keep doing the things that heal it, and you stop doing the things that hurt it.
I can relate.
Yeah.
I lost almost 20 pounds since my hysterectomy, and gaining that weight it just happened.
Yeah.
And I'm 37, and it's never really happened to me before. And if it did, it was a couple pounds here and there, and it would just come off. And this time it was like, nothing's happening.
And
What's
the hysterectomy changed a lot of those things.
Different things going on, and a lot of these patients do as well, and it's very disheartening sometimes, and it's a challenge.
We try so hard.
Yes,
our heart's in it. Like we want to change, but we don't understand.
Right.
There's sometimes more than just the choice to want to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the want is a serious thing to get into. And it could be that, so this is my fear for that person, is that they will choose not to do it yet, and then they will have problems.
Right. And are we ever truly ready for anything in our life?
Maybe not.
When you're pregnant, are you really ready to have a baby? You've never had a baby before, and you just kind of learn and figure things out for that. And, when you're done with college, let's say, or when you are an adult, you get a job, that's all a learning curve too. It is.
We're probably just really hard on ourselves for that too, thinking we have to figure it out before we get started. And that's just a complete lie.
Yes.
Imagine all the things you would have never done if you had to figure it out first. That's a note for me in business.
Yeah.
It is, because this Beyond thing, I've been truly 3 years, poor Tony's been hearing it for 3 years. And finally I'm doing it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's exciting for me. I think too, though, there was some knowledge I needed to really become comfortable with, and some step backness too, because you've been always talking about me like you're too available to them, and sometimes they just need to not have you around.
Right.
And I'm like, shit, I never thought about that.
Well, and focus on that you are doing great things too.
Yeah, because we're all hard on ourselves. It's true. But I think that's the special thing about us, though, especially working with you. I mean, I've never had an assistant who didn't have heart in it, which is awesome, because
You need to.
you have to, because on those tough days, it makes it so that, like, we're okay. Like, we just need a moment. But most of them are really pretty cool days, especially now that we do the before and after part pictures. Even if, like, I take a picture every time you come in, and that's what I want to do. I started it because there was a lady who was coming after me because she was so mad because the program wasn't working. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. And
that's incredible.
One day we will have an episode about why it's okay to lose weight quickly if you're doing it the healthy way. Like on our program, you don't get loose skin because we're not doing it the unhealthy way. We are giving your body
fuel and
what it needs to be vibrant and healthy. So that doesn't make you sick. It makes you healthier. And so anyways, there's just so many stories that we can reflect on.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Did you want to read one of the testimonials and see what we want to talk about with that? I feel like I didn't finish a story today, but
fitting into clothes that I couldn't wear for the last 10 years.
Oh my gosh, 10 years. God bless her for keeping them for 10 years.
Yes.
I mean, I like my closet kind of emptier, so I don't like necessarily keep stuff like that.
I'm sure she hung on to them for that reason.
She probably loved
hopeful,
them.
And hopeful she would fit in them again.
There's a lot of hope in 10 years, but then just like that. Yep.
She did it.
Yep. It used to scare me, people who only have like 10 or 15 pounds to lose, because I'd be like, you're doing all the things. Look at you. You're amazing. But they always lose their 10 to 15 pounds because the habits that most of us, we actually just started somebody who she was doing great. And she, like, I think she's almost 70, she said. Yeah, almost 70. And she's working out. She's got a great body. She's like healthy. She's doing so many of the things. And we just switched when she does breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like messaging me all the time now. And she's like, I can't believe it feels so good.
Yeah.
And she would have been one of the people who scared me at first because she was so close. But we just switched out some of her habits because of your physiology. We talk about that all the time. If you don't know how your body works, you can't make the good decisions that lead to the success that you want. They will lead you to more failure, and that feels bad, and that makes you want a donut.
Yes.
It's the truth. It's just how it works. What you got there?
This one's losing more weight, and then glucose went from 117 down to 99.
Yeah. I mean, diabetes is coming for all of us. It's just like, are we going to do something that shuts that door?
Right.
Or are we going to just assume it's going to happen?
Yeah. It's hard with just our society and our culture with the foods that we have available to us, and
it's so
living
easy
more
to
sedentary lifestyle.
I think something we're going to do in the future is make food proposals for, like, I volunteer a lot. Most of it's places that are supporting people who are having illnesses, right? And you should see the crap that they give you. The other day I posted on my personal Facebook. You can follow me on Dr. Brooke Lyons on Facebook, or the Body Bella Transformations page. But I was taking a picture, and I was kind of sad to do it because I didn't want to embarrass these people. So I took people's faces and stuff out of it. But she was all talking about how she's she's so happy she's bringing all this food to her church. There was nothing you should eat in that bag and that thing. Yeah. It was chips, and it was, there's probably hot dogs or something happening because I just see buns. So that's good that there was some meat happening. But it was just absolutely filled with stuff that you should never be putting in your body. But we do it because we don't know any differently. Like, I always used to just have vegetables offered, like sometimes some fruit for the kids, because we had a pool and we had a big play thing, so kids used to come over all the time. And I always try to tell their parents, like, oh, they ate this. Well, just so as a parent, you know what your kid ate that day. And they're like, what? They what? And I'm like, well, that's all I serve, so that's what they eat. And they're like, no way. I'm like, well, ask them, because they did. I'm like, they'll never do that around me, which is true. Sometimes our kids don't do the things for us that, they treat us different. Like the most polite kid somewhere else is like the most obstinate kid. You're like, how do I not kill you?
They feel safe and comfortable.
They do. Oh, it's such a lovely thing. Doesn't feel good all the time, but I was just remembering too a story I didn't finish, maybe a different episode. We started that 80-year-old, and I was talking about how she, it's so exciting. She's my new goals, right? Because I'm not 80 yet, but she's going on. She had told us that she just doesn't feel herself, so she's been monitoring that. We did talk about that. She knows how she's supposed to feel. She's supposed to feel good. And all of a sudden, she's just not. But she's like, so I'm going to do your program because I want to feel good again, because I'm going to Japan for 3 weeks.
Wow. That's so incredible.
I mean,
and inspiring.
We should be, right? That This should be not even a conversation of how cool that is. It just is, because it's not very common anymore.
Right.
But it's the sugar, right? There's new research. You should go look for it. It's about how, like I did this to my own sweet mentor. She started declining mentally, but she loved sugar. And so I would bring her banana splits, and we would share one. And we'd never finish it, but it was still sugar. Or I'd bring her other sugar. It's the truth. And now I kind of regret it, because now there's so much research that shows if you have somebody who's declining cognitively like that, with dementia or Alzheimer's, if you take the sugar out of their diet, they start remembering again. It's the sugar, people. It's the sugar.
Glucose.
Yes, their glucose levels. And this is what made me go on this tangent, was this lady saying that her glucose levels, she's eating carbohydrates. This is not a no carbohydrate opportunity. You have to have those to have your health be robust. But I just love those comments, because that's somebody's wins. Like, that's somebody's actual life.
Yes.
And she probably thought it wasn't possible. Yeah. Yep. You want to read another one? See what that sparks for us in conversation?
Yes, losing 18 pounds, more energy, feeling great, and didn't go off program once.
I love it. I love it. Sometimes people will say the word cheat, and I'm like, cheat? Like, this is just life. Like, you're going to have something else. Like, you're going to have the bun on your hamburger. Right. It's just, that's going to happen.
And but how you look at it, it changes our perspective.
Yes.
About, so we're not shameful.
Because cheat is a shameful word. Yeah. And, we're trained to kind of, just by our experience, to see when somebody says cheat, it's like, oh, so tell me why you use that word. And they're like, well, because I wasn't perfect on the program. Oh, you think you need to be perfect.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
No.
That will not be sustainable.
And we don't shame here.
No, we not purposely. Like I said, I think on a different episode, there are people who have so much just built in that when you just say, hey, you're not, I think the example was using breakfast. Like, if you're not eating breakfast, that's not going to serve you actually on the long run. And we teach you all about that. But so if I make a point out a thing and that feels shameful to us, like, usually I catch it when it's happening, because their whole demeanor will change. But sometimes I don't.
And they carry a lot of guilt around.
Yeah. So, but I love that. Not program. They chose to not eat on program. That is normal living. We support that wholeheartedly. Eat good food. Love your life. We have it on our bag.
Yes.
Did I tell you about the bags, though? So I used to use these paper bags, which is fine. At least they can be eco-friendly and recyclable. But you can't really use them twice, and they're probably dead, and
break.
And so, anyways, I was doing research about getting cotton bags, because that's what I really wanted. And I think these ones are organic cotton. I can't remember if the organic actually happened, because you only have so many choices for the sizes and stuff you want. Well, they're not pre-washed. That will be on next time's order, because I washed my own bag.
Came out.
Oh my gosh. Well, the writing's fine. It's that it's not this big anymore. Like half. It's a lunch bag now. Maybe I'll put my eggs in it, but when I buy them at the store, because I bring my own bags. But yeah, that was unexpected. But here's the truth: life is going to throw you things that are unexpected. But how are you going to deal with them? Right? We talked about that in a different episode. If you burn your hands on a cookie sheet, are you going to throw up the cookies? Are you going to say, I hate cookies, I'm never doing cookies again?
Right.
Or are you just going to put some mitts on? Emotional intelligence, our reactions. Look at when you do a reaction that you're like, why did I go there with that? That was 0 to 60 and I'm not in a Corvette.
Yeah.
Like,
dissect why you react the way you do.
Take a little look and see the words you're using. Some of the programs that I have, just kind of go on our website, ask us. All the stuff will be, some of it's available now, some of it will be soon. But ask a better question.
Yeah.
If you're asking what's wrong with yourself, guess what the answer is. Whatever's wrong. Well, that doesn't mean that's bad. It just means there's something that your body's going to answer that bad question for. So what can I do differently? That's a different question.
Very true.
What can I say yes to that will lead me more of what I want? Ask a better question. That should have been our theme today.
Yeah.
Because that's actually super powerful. We'll make notes about that. But it's literally a little mini program that I offer. So
right. And I feel like we preach that, at least I do to my kids, and then sometimes I find myself doing the opposite. I'm like, here I'm wanting my kids to do those things or my loved ones, and then it's like, oh, but wait, I deserve that too.
Yes, check in that box. We were talking a couple episodes ago about a gentleman who was saying, well, like just changing his lifestyle and noticing that his dad had died, and he didn't want that for his family. But imagine the power of knowing this is, all the things are coming closed. We should have done a 4-hour episode today because I would have closed all the loops. It's all coming back to me now. But when we have something tragic that happens like that, it really is a really great way to go 0 to 10. Yeah. I'm 10, I'm committed, I don't want that for me. But here's what happens in life. We get this little fantasy wheel, like we're supposed to be having this perfect life. Show me, please introduce me to that person.
Right, and like what is perfect?
Oh my gosh, and it changes every day because perfect today is us making it here, doing the podcast, seeing Tony and doing all the things. That wasn't yesterday's perfect, right? Yeah. So I don't mind the word perfect, to be honest with you. I like perfect. When I make one of my creations, I do want it to be perfect. I do. But that's just not always feasible in life.
No.
It's too much stress. If it stresses you out, that's not the word for you.
Well, and your perfect is different than my perfect.
Yes.
So on and so forth. And I can set you up for failure, I think, too, if you try for perfection.
And it depends on how you feel about the word, because perfection doesn't, well, I'm going to have to dig deeper on this, because as I'm about to say, perfection doesn't really bother me as a word. This is the girl who spent the last week going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I think I have some things.
Yeah.
Which is always the case. But isn't it amazing when we can make changes in our life? I've heard so many people like, I wish I knew this sooner. Nope. I wish I had heard that before. I wish I'd been able to raise my kids like this. Didn't happen, so it wasn't meant for you.
Right.
But if your kids are old enough, well, if they're young enough, yay, you get to make these changes now. But if they're old enough, they get to see that sometimes life doesn't go as you planned it, but you can change that.
Yes, and they'll still learn from you, even as adults.
Yes, but never hide your change. Never hide your sorrow. Never hide the regret that you have. You don't have to live there, right? But I think if we release it a little bit and just be like, I really regret not knowing that I could have fed you apples for dessert, and that would have been a lot healthier. I just wasn't raised that way. We've had people come in their families went to those all-you-can-eats a lot. There's 2 different places, so I know there's lots of you out there. One of them, I'll just use the less severe. They were not allowed to have dessert until they finished a full plate.
Oh, yeah.
So guess what they did? They want dessert because in that family, dessert was the best thing, right? You belong if you love dessert. But then they had to eat they were little people, and they had to eat so of course they were bigger as kids, and their whole life was all around, they didn't fit in, they couldn't run with their friends, they did all the things. And there's nothing wrong with a sweet person. There was nothing wrong with them.
Right.
But so we're starting to launch a lot of things right now because we realize and beyond, like you need to go beyond the weight loss or you will gain it back because you will start filling your holes up, your emotional holes. But of course, creating passionate, heartfelt work like that means that I go through it as I do it. Right?
Yeah.
And some of it's systems that I've been teaching for 20 years. So it's kind of easy, but I don't get away with it without feeling it. And the other night, I just couldn't sleep and I wasn't even working, right? Like sometimes I'm just trying to finish some stuff. This time I wasn't even working and I sobbed. I thought I was going to wake up the whole family up. But it's a beautiful thing, people, because I've done a lot of work on the little girl who is ostracized and had no friends. There was nothing wrong with me.
No.
It's just that somebody picked on me and I must have just taken it in, and all the people who wanted to be bullies just chose me. And for a lot of my life, that's how I lived. But I also find beauty in that now.
Right.
Because if you have a tender moment, I'm with you. Because I always desired that person who just wanted to be my friend. And so, here I go crying again.
And now you're that for everyone else.
Exactly. And so, and it doesn't take anything away from me.
No.
I'm not a people pleaser in that way. I'm just like, you're the person in front of me, so I want to be with you right now. And so that helped me really focus on that. But I've done a lot of work on separating myself from, like, there was a janitor, I think I've talked to about him before, Mr. Becker. And Mr. Becker used to identify that I did not want to be outside at recess because that's when I was bullied the worst. And so he would like let me come in and empty garbages with him and stuff. And I was always, I don't even know if I was grateful at the moment. I was just like happy to have a friend, right?
Yeah.
And so Mr. Becker, I actually missed him by a couple of months. I went to thank him. This is going to make me cry. I went to thank him because I don't know that he knew what he did for me. And he just passed.
It was like your safe place.
He was my safe. But I've written so many things in my programs. I've written about this man, about how to see people. But anyways, so he saw that. But I've always been working on, and I used Mr. Becker actually. So a therapist at one point said it was a black hole that I would stand on, and I can visualize the entire schoolyard. And there was one place that it was the school. It was when we were waiting in line to go back in school. They were awful, and I was stuck because if I'm not in line, I'm getting in trouble from the teacher. There was no way to get away from that, and so there I was going through that. But that's a black hole for me that I can literally see at this moment. I see it, and so she said, would Mr. Becker take that on for you? And I was like, I don't know. Let me ask. And he's already passed, but of course the feeling was yes. So he stands on that thing, but me, there's a big old forest at the back. And so she had me learn to run and just have fun in the back, where I should have been able to play and be a little kid.
Yeah.
But stuff at home, it was a different situation. And so anyways, I remembered, I've never told myself that there was nothing wrong with me.
Really?
In all that work, it was just last week, people. Just last week, I'm 56 years old. And I finally went, there was nothing wrong with me. I was just a sweet little girl who just wanted to have friends.
Yeah.
And so it's always like, oh, Brooke, did you just tell that story? But there's nothing wrong with you. And as soon as I could connect with that, like, we're about to launch some really big stuff, and there are going to be people on the internet that are mean. They have no choice. That's how they show up in the world.
Yeah.
And they're going to say some awful stuff to me. I was just reading Rachel Peterson. She's a mogul in social media, and she's like an expert on people being awful. And so I was reading one of her blogs about that, and it was very powerful because of what I just went through in the middle of the night, crying so hard, just realizing there's nothing wrong with me. And I already knew that. I don't have a lot of problem around that anymore, but there will always be layers that want to uncover themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even know what it meant, but I think it was preparing me for this bully who's going to show up again.
Right.
And am I going to say, no, my program doesn't work, or yes, you're right, like, I'm an awful person? Heck no, like, have your opinion. You know,
it takes a lot to learn that.
It really does. And it's probably something we're going to keep on relearning. Now that happened, we're going to have good days and bad days.
Right. And just sitting with those feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or crying it out.
Cry. Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
it's healing.
It's ugly
very
cry.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about, like, I'm a really ugly crier, but I know people who are so pretty after they cry. I don't know how that happens, but it's not me. But thank goodness I did actually fall asleep like that. So don't judge your journey, right? We've talked in episodes about rating your 0 to 10, or maybe 1 to 10. How close are you to knowing that you are not maybe doing it because you're sick right now, but if that sickness is in your family, today's the day to say yes to more health. Early on in the program, I had a couple of people kind of mad at me because they're like, you should stop calling this a weight loss program. And I'm like, well, that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not here for weight loss. I just don't feel like myself anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that's why I started calling it the Wellness and Weight Program. That's literally why. And so maybe you're not severely overweight. maybe you just don't wake up feeling vibrant and ready to do your day. Maybe you have a dream in your heart that is not being fulfilled because when I was 50 pounds overweight, I went home and slept or just cashed out in front of the TV because I just didn't have any more in me.
Yeah, avoidance of a beautiful life that we should be living.
Exactly. Yeah. And a beautiful life does not mean that things are always perfect.
No.
It means when all shit is hitting the ceiling, we're the people going, I got you. Let me bring you some chili.
Yes.
Let me help you out in this way that I have to give you. And maybe you don't even like chili, then don't eat the chili. But if it's what I have to offer, that's what I'm going to offer.
A gesture.
Ask. Yeah. I guess asking has really been a real theme for me lately, really making sure I ask. It just helps people process better.
Yeah.
But it's all I make. I don't share food with people because I am not a confident chef. It is why my children
you have to have your son
and that's why Red Hot Chef is who he is. See, if I was regretting that, if I was like, oh, I wish I was a better cook for my kids and blah blah blah, I just cook them plain food. That's what they grew. But my son went, I would love some flavor, Mom. Sometimes,
and he created it.
Oh my Lord, just regular food. That kid, I don't know what he does it. I think part of it is there's love involved. Yeah. He loves doing it.
He's passionate about it. That's beautiful.
My daughter loves baking. I never did that because of the sugar thing we were trying to stay away from. And my husband used to be really we called him the food Nazi. There's shakes that my children have choked down that I'm so proud of them.
Wow.
Because they would be like full-on vegetable, awful shakes. But they did it. Now we know that our Body Bella shakes are delicious. Yes. She has one of those every morning.
There you go.
So we didn't torture her or damage her too much. Oh, we did in her own ways. But yeah, so your call to action today is just to listen again to this podcast. There's so much gold that we just talked about, and listen.
You can relate to some of it too.
I hope you can. I hope you can. Because you don't have to do this thing alone. Join our Thrive Beyond Weight Loss in Facebook. It's a group. Be a part of the group that's doing the same things that you are. Surround yourself around amazing other people.
Yeah, the community there is great, and I love that they're posting in there, and everyone's so supportive and just
it's awesome.
It's incredible to see that.
And one of the people we were going to talk about today was a lady who just went in there. She's like, just want everybody to know my A1C is back to normal. All my blood tests came back fine. I've lost all this weight. And so
she's getting up before her alarm.
Oh my gosh, that too. That would be huge for me. A miracle, really. But you got to share yourself. If you are behind this camera or looking at this, what are we doing? A podcast?
Listening to it.
You're just listening and you're not participating. There's no room for you to move forward and say yes to anything. Maybe it's yes to joining the podcast, signing up to watch our podcast when they get launched. Maybe it's also saying yes to the Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. Maybe you have lost weight and don't want to regain it, or you did regain it, and you need to be in part of Beyond, going beyond the weight loss so that we no longer are scared, right? Yeah. We have community, we have resources, and we have just a path for where we are now.
Yep.
Yeah, because what we did 10 years ago probably won't work anymore.
No.
I wish. No, I don't wish. I guess I like the change. But yeah, so know who you are and know that we love you no matter how you present. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining this episode of Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. We'll see you next time.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on the Thrive Beyond Weight Loss podcast belong solely to the host and guest speakers, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any associated organizations or health professionals. The content provided is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions regarding a medical condition or health objectives.